Hi all, today we are looking at movie where is woman chased by her own death companion. The movie starts, a woman is mourning the death of her husband in her house. She goes to the basement to get more liquor and get more drunk. She was watching the video of her wedding ceremony. When she goes to sleep, she hears the sound of a knock on the door, only then she gets up because of fear. She go downstairs and look across the gate and she does not see anyone there. Even when she went to check in the back side of the house, she did not see anyone there. Then she sees the shadow of a man in the glass door. She wakes up on the floor of her bedroom next morning. She gets ready and leaving her house in mourning when she notices that the door near the lake is open. She goes to close it and notices the footprints of a man coming out from the lake. She hears the sounds of gunfire. She went to her school where she is working as a teacher. She met her friend. She is sitting in her office and checking the list of new houses to purchase. That's when the mother of one of her students comes to talk to her about her son's grade. After a heated conversation, she told her that her husband has killed himself. When she went home, she saw Mel, her neighbor, is coming out from lake after putting her boat under covers. She is again checking out the old videos again in which her husband is helping building their home. She stops the videotape and start cleaning her husband's belongings from the house. She found her house architectural design of her house in a sketchbook made by her husband. When she is trying to sleep, just then the stereo in her house starts playing. She woke up and found a text message from her husband to come downstairs. She calls her husband on the phone and a voice tells her to look across from the window. When she looks across from the window, she sees her husband standing naked on the surface of the lake. When she wakes up the next morning, she finds out that it was all just a dream. She checks her phone and there is no message from her husband. She is checking her husband's phone, and in it she finds a picture of a girl who looks like her. She shows that picture to her friend, but her friend says that that picture is of hers. Her friend advised not to dig her husband's past and tries to move on. She invites Beth for drinks with her colleagues. Their colleague starts to discuss about her husband's death and ask about suicide note. It is written in that suicide note. "You were right. There is nothing. Nothing is after you. You are safe now." She and her friend came back home. They start talking, then Beth tells her that she knows the truth about that suicide note. She told her that she had died in an accident a few years back and after some time she came back to life. She also told her that there is nothing after death. She falls asleep in her friend's lap. Suddenly she woke up because of the loud noise coming from her stereo. She sees that her friend is not there. When she goes to check in the backyard of her house, she sees some girl running away and jumping in the lake. She goes to look after them. She doesn't find anyone there. She goes to check her boat. She sees a lot of blood spread on her boat. When she's going back, she hears someone's footsteps on the dock. She looks back. She sees footprints made of blood. She thinks that footprint is of her husband's. The next moment she is lying on the boat unconscious. When she wakes up, she finds herself on the other side of the lake, away from her house. She sees her house, and inside that house she sees a girl who looks little like her, and she also saw her husband with that girl. When she goes inside that house, she finds herself sleeping on the couch. She wakes up from that dream and starts checking her husband's laptop. In the laptop she found out the pictures of some random girls who looks like her. She goes to the woods where she sees her house in her dream. There she meets Mel, who is walking his dog. Mel advises him to not roam in the woods alone and take care of herself. She ignores his advice and is walking in the woods. There she saw a house like her house which was not fully constructed. While she is investigating that house, she finds a voodoo doll in that house. She angrily goes to Mel and asks him about that voodoo doll. Mel tells her that he does not know anything about that doll and also tells her that he had seen her husband with a girl in the forest once who looks like her. She comes home and checks her husband's belongings, in which she finds a book which is written on black magic. She gets the address of that bookstore through that book from where her husband bought that book. She hears the sound of someone coming from her house. When she goes to check in the basement, she saw a reflection of a person there. She got scared. The next morning she goes to the bookstore from where her husband used to buy books. When she was checking that bookstore, she saw the same girl whose picture was on her husband's phone. She asked that girl about her husband. At first the girl refuses, but later tells that she knows her husband. In the night, she tells her friend about this, and her friend would give her the same advice again, that she doesn't chase her husband's past and remember that he loved her. When she is at her home, the girl from the bookstore come to meet her and tells her the truth. She told her that she and her husband used to date, and she also visited the house which was not fully constructed. When they are getting intimate there, She asked her husband to stop and he stops and told her that she is safe now. After the girl leaves, Beth goes to the same house built in the woods in an intoxicated state and starts calling her husband. Her torch falls. When she went to pick up the torch, the floor breaks down and she sees lots of dead bodies buried under the floor. She runs to her home and calls her friend. Her friend did not answer. Then she drops a voicemail explaining all the things she has saw recently. She was taking a bath when the stereo of the house starts playing. When she comes out from the bathroom, the music stops and she starts crying out to her husband. When she looks up, she sees "here" written on the bathroom mirror. She thought that her husband is with her and she start to feel him in her arms. After some time a voice told her that he is not her husband. She got shocked and the bathroom door closes. When she turns back she saw a girl in the mirror who is looking like her and her husband trying to kill her. When she is trying to going out from the bathroom some force slams her head in the mirror. When she got conscious she found her on the other side of the mirror and saw her husband trying to tie that girl into the shape of that voodoo doll. She ran downstairs where she sees her husband making out with another girl. She also sees a reflection of someone there. Suddenly some force tries to pull her and at the same time she saw her husband killing a number of women. She falls through the stairs. She got up and saw her husband sitting on the couch with her. The voice told her that he is nothing and he is with her from the time she cheated death. He start whispering in her husband's ear to send her back to him, but her husband instead of killing Beth tried to fool nothing with all the decoys and deceptions he reads from the voodoo books. He sacrificed all the women's life to save his wife. Nothing grabs Beth and folds her into the same shape as the voodoo doll. Her friend reached her home and trying to find her. When Beth opens her eyes, she found herself in the same boat with her husband in which her husband killed himself. Nothing is trying to manipulate Beth to take her own life with the same gun. Her friend found her on the lake and run towards her. She starts shouting her name. Beth got conscious and her friend pulls her into the lake to save her life. At the end Beth understands the meaning of her husband's suicide note. You are right, there is nothing is after you. If you like this video then do subscribe our channel and support us.